Now at 5, it was a Salt Lake City summer destination, but in recent years it has turned into an eyesore. An abandoned water park is set for demolition, but what will replace it? Plus, break out the fleece blankets. Freezing temperatures tonight all along the Wasatch Front. Find out how cold and for how long.
We have to do more to vaccinate the 66 million unvaccinated people in America.
And the push to vaccinate. The president saying we have to do more. Meanwhile, an FDA panel votes to approve a third shot for the Moderna vaccine. But what about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine?
Live, we're there for you. ABC4 News at 5 starts now.
Promising signs in the fight against COVID-19. That's where we begin tonight on ABC4 News at 5. I'm Glenn Mills.
And I'm Emily Clark, in for Emily Flores. Thank you for joining us. President Joe Biden touting new pandemic progress tonight. He says over the past 2 weeks, most of the country is seeing signs of improvement. According to the president, cases are declining in 39 states and hospitalizations are dropping in 38. But when it comes to vaccinations, he says there's still more work to do.
With 66 million Americans still unvaccinated, the president also pushing for more vaccine requirements. And tonight, we're tracking his vaccination plan with team coverage. ABC4's Jason Nguyen is live in Salt Lake City with more on what a vaccine mandate would mean for Utah. But first, Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon live in the nation's capital this evening. And Alex, as the calls for vaccination continue, it was another big day for COVID booster shots.
Hi there, good evening. It was the FDA advisory panel recommended emergency authorization of Moderna's booster. Now, tomorrow, the FDA could move to approve that, and we are also expecting that it's a possibility that the advisory panel could approve the Johnson & Johnson booster as soon as tomorrow as well.
If authorized, we are ready. We have purchased enough vaccines for all children between the ages of 5 and 11.
As the nation awaits the approval of a COVID vaccine for children, President Biden says there's other work to be done.
We have to do more to vaccinate the 66 million unvaccinated people in America. It's essential.
Although details about how it will be enforced have yet to be published, President Biden says his plan for a vaccine requirement for businesses is already working.
Businesses and organizations that are implementing requirements are seeing their vaccination rates rise by an average of 20% or more to well over 90%.
The emergency rule requiring businesses with more than 100 employees to ensure all of those employees are vaccinated or tested weekly is under review. The administration also implemented a COVID vaccine requirement for the federal workforce and military.
And the mounting data shows that they work.
A group of federal workers is suing the government over the vaccine requirement. Other lawsuits are threatened too, and Republican Governor Greg Abbott banned vaccine mandates in Texas.
These mandates are unconstitutional.
Republican Senator Ron Johnson says vaccine requirements will make existing problems like the shortages of healthcare workers worse.
They are going to be incredibly harmful for military readiness and for our healthcare system.
Now, as you heard, President Biden is standing firmly by his vaccine requirements, but we are expecting more lawsuits once the Labor Department and OSHA publish those final details about that requirement for businesses. Reporting live in Washington, Alexandra Limon.
And once the vaccine mandate does go into effect, it will impact thousands of Utahns. ABC4's Jason Nguyen joining us live at the state capitol tonight. And Jason, how many companies are we talking about here?
Well, Emily, the person with the Department of Workforce Services tells me that there are more than 2,000, we're talking about 2,300 companies that may be affected by this, with hundreds of thousands of employees that will have to prove a vaccination status or get tested at least once a week. Now, this is all supposed to get implemented in roughly 75 days from when we first told you about this last month. So that target date we know of is November 20th. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, OSHA, and the Department of Labor are the ones who are going to be enforcing these mandates. Just a little bit ago, I spoke with State Senate President Stuart Adams' team, who tells me state officials, they're looking into all of their options to take action against this vaccine mandate. President Stuart Adams tells me in a statement, forcing American businesses to mandate vaccines for their employees is not the role of the government. government. We support Attorney General Sean Reyes as he works with other states to pursue legal action against the federal government. Now, it was just 10 days ago that legislators were here at the Capitol, and they heard from more than 800 Utahns against this vaccine mandate. And then President Stuart Adams says that they may call a special legislative session either this month or next month if those vaccine mandates are implemented. I'm Jason Wynn, live at the Capitol, ABC4 News.
Thank you, Jason. Now to northern Utah, where new data tonight shows COVID-19 case counts are dropping in counties that implement test-to-stay protocol. The Bear River Health Department creating graphs for 15 cities across the district showing COVID case trends for the entire population. In cities where the department held test-to-stay events, cases continue to drop, while the other cities are seeing an increase. They say there's not enough evidence to prove the trends are related to the testing, but it could be helping.
Then we prevented, hundreds more from getting COVID, and that translates to tens or maybe dozens more avoiding the hospital.
According to the health department, COVID cases in middle and high school age kids have been plateauing or even decreasing in recent weeks, while those are on the rise for kids under 11. They say it's likely due to vaccine eligibility.
New at 5, the Jordan School District offering incentives to help draw in more substitute teachers. Statewide, Utah is facing a shortage of subs. The Jordan District says the program provides temporary incentive pay up to $500 for substitutes who work a required number of days between October 25th and December 15th without canceling an already accepted job. For more information on the program, you can just go to our website, abc4.com.
The blast of winter weather not over just yet. This is a live look outside of Little Cottonwood Canyon. You can see still plenty of snow on the ground and even possibly more coming down, it looks like there. And with that, we'll get a first look at the weather forecast.
A lot of that looks more like November or December, right?
January you could go with, but those snow showers definitely continue to linger. This is video from Park City where you can see the fall colors and then that sloppy, heavy snow. These early season storms have really brought in those colder temperatures. Major thanks to Carol for sending that our way. We appreciate it. And this is what it looked like here at the University of Utah on the football field. That looks more like November, December, like a bowl game, right? No, not the case. We saw those snow levels dip down into valleys, and it's all because of this low pressure system that is now exiting the state, keeping active skies in portions of the higher elevations, a few isolated storms in valleys, and then eastern Utah. We'll see a few storms as we get through the evening. What's left behind? Well, we look, as we see in the last half hour here, we've got those mountain showers as well as some rain in Salt Lake County and towards Tooele, but starting to taper off and dwindle when it comes to activity. Eastern Utah has been fairly quiet, but we do have a few storms right over I-70, just some echoes of moisture, so some light showers. Downtown Salt Lake City has cloud cover and it feels chilly. We're way below average, 40s along the Wasatch Front, and as we head into tonight, we get another frigid night. Eastern Utah actually has a hard freeze warning going into effect for the Uinta Basin, but we've seen these early season storms bring in these freezing temperatures a little earlier than normal. Our own Haley Hendricks joins us live. She talked to farmers and how it impacts them. Haley?
Well, Lana, as we start to dip into these cooler temperatures, farmers are getting ready for this season change. Now here at Roberts Family Farm, they're harvesting all the crops they can and getting ready for next year's season. Farmer Tyson Roberts says last October, a hard 3-day freeze destroyed some of their crop. Before temperatures dipped earlier this week, he says they've rushed to get all the produce they can out of the cold.
We're pretty lucky on our farm to have just about all of our sensitive crops that are sensitive to frost in and harvested and ready to take to market. I did speak with a friend in Ogden today that has 90 acres of onions still out, so he's got a battle ahead of him still.
Well, Roberts tells me the first freeze typically hits his farm mid to late October. Reporting live in Layton, Haley Hendricks, ABC4 News.
Thank you, Haley. Happening now, the search is on for a homicide suspect in West Valley City, and police are now asking for your help. Police say Noel Munoz Lopez, who you see here, is suspected of killing 82-year-old Farrell Barchi. It happened back on October 4th near 38th South and 42nd West. Police believe he was driving this 2012 white Chevy Malibu at the time. The United States Marshal Service is offering a $2,000 reward for any information that leads to his arrest. If you know anything, you're asked to call police at the number you see there on the bottom of your screen.
Today, the Salt Lake City Police Department honoring the fallen. In a memorial ceremony this afternoon, Salt Lake City Police commemorating the 25 fallen officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. City leaders, department members, and family members of the fallen all joining together to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving Utah's capital city.
There's not many professions that require an oath, but our officers take one, and I've been present when they do, and it's perfectly apparent in those moments that they take their sworn duties and responsibilities seriously and to heart.
The ceremony is normally held in May in conjunction with National Police Week, but due to the pandemic, it was postponed until now.
It's out with the old and in with the new. Salt Lake City is starting to demolish the old Raging Waters Water Park in Glendale to make way for a new regional park. Mayor Erin Mendenhall says the city has found ways to recycle most of the remaining infrastructure. She says some of the slides will be stored for other use and concrete will be recycled as road base. As for the new park, Salt Lake City Public Land says they start taking public input on that project coming up in November.
Still ahead, preparing for extreme weather. The nation's top forecasters say the country's response is falling behind. What they say is to blame for the delayed action.